Oh man, come on.
Hello guys and welcome to another video, and this is the video that I hadn't planned just making it like a couple of weeks ago because I saw some guys literally running me off, and I just wanted to share this one with you because this was so unbelievable, so I just had to make a guide, or actually a video. This could be a guide how to avoid dirty players, but in general I was trying to go from the back in this one, and okay, I decided to go for a move, but this guy literally pushes me off. I mean, almost immediately. I just couldn't believe, like, why would you push me off like that? And this is only the beginning of this video. Trust me, there is going to be a lot more by the end of it. A lot more. I'm not kidding, just a lot more. But I'm just watching this guy, I'm staying behind. I didn't really even want to go for a move at this point. I'm just staying behind, minding my own business. And he tries to cover me off every single time. Even though he made a couple of very slow lines and very slow exits. I mean, he's even got a 1 second penalty, which he's gonna serve very late in the race, I have to say. So you only got 1 penalty zone, and it's really late. But now, just go look at this. I just go for a move, and this guy completely tries to wipe me out. It's like not even a question. But now he really took himself out of the game. And as I said in the stream, eventually he took himself out. But there are a couple of very good players, like Scrapster, like here. He knew that he was a little bit slower. I decided to go like a couple of moves in the game. People weren't really pushing that much. We were just giving each other space, which is perfectly normal and perfectly fine. But you know, when you're racing from the back, or you're just racing in some below rated lobbies, I think you're gonna have a lot of very similar situations, which is unbelievably interesting to me, just to watch what some people are capable of doing. And yeah, sometimes it's actually better like this to wait, really to wait and see what the other guy is gonna do. And you know, we're gonna skip to this situation because I was just behind Star Fox and he just moves to the right. I had the straight line speed, and this is a perfect example of, if the guy is quicker, why would you really bother of making a battle with him, because he's just gonna overtake you in the next corner. I mean, you're gonna lose time, not me. I mean, you're gonna lose time. And eventually this guy in front of me from P6 made a mistake. Actually, at this point he was P5, and we were just trying to work together at this point, so he wasn't really pushing that much. And he also knew that he was in the slipstream. He's gonna have a couple of places that are kind of a potential, and I mean good potential for him. But eventually I got up to the straight, I cleared up most of the field and just flew past this guy, flew past Brazilian there. And this first race, literally running from the last spot on the grid, I somehow managed to get up into P5 with all of that trouble, with all of that blocking, and it kind of felt good. It really felt good just to be at that position where you can go from the back and cover all of these guys and make a result like that. But now race 2. Immediately I decided to go for a move on JP, which was P10 at this point. So I mean, very clean move. I decided to give him a little bit of space on the outside. Actually, I was on the inside. So no, he was on the inside, I was on the outside. But again, people were giving each other space. For example, this guy, he gave me space. He gave me just more than he should have. I mean, I was thinking about maybe don't give me that much space. But again, look at this situation right now. So I'm going for a move. I've got the car width of, and just immediately he tries to wipe me out. And I was like, okay, I need to keep this in line, but I wanted to have a look at from his perspective. I don't know if he didn't see me, but I think he wasn't really aware that I was there just trying to go for that move. I mean, even from my perspective as I was watching this, maybe this was a bold move. It wasn't, honestly, from my perspective, this wasn't dirty. This was just, it's not really bad driving. It's sometimes that people are not kind of realizing that you're on the outside and inside. But again, I just carried on. I mean, I wasn't really bothered by the situation that much because I mean, I was still in the game. I was still P8. I mean, I had a lot of time to make up the ground, and eventually I saw this. So they were going side by side, which isn't really the best thing to do once you're in this corner, which is kind of a very tight one. And yeah, inevitably this happened. And, you know, once again, I just tried to give him a little bit more space, stayed on, you know, stayed kind of off the trot a little bit, see what can eventually come out of it. And this is P7 for me, so race number 2, and this is P7 for me. So I was quite happy with the result I was getting this far, and I mean, in the first lap, up to P7, only 14 seconds behind the lead, and just trying my best, really, to overtake a lot of these guys. I mean, but it's Nordschleife. It's so very, very difficult. Coleman barely makes some mistakes, but he recovered. I have to say, he recovered very, very well. I mean, usually people go wide and almost, I wouldn't say not almost, but very, very easy is to go wide in the next section and eventually losing it all. But again, so Coleman just decides to go for kind of, I wouldn't say a defensive line, so he was always in front of me and just trying to defend himself. I mean, perfectly good thing to do, nothing wrong with that. But again, I'm just gonna watch this situation. He loses control, goes on to the gravel, and there, yeah, that's me. So from P7 going down, and he got onto the grass there. He kind of, yeah, I think this was not dirty driving. This was just, you know, just a little mistake, and yeah, took me out. And then, yeah, I really, honestly, at that point, I really had nothing to say. I thought he was just being dirty, but just when I was watching the replay, I realized that it wasn't really dirty. It was just he lost control of his car and wiped me out. I mean, what can you see? And now I tapped this guy. I mean, honestly, no intention, really, no intention, Jay. I'm very sorry about it, but again, I decided to go for a move, and yeah, it's very difficult when the guy's in front of you and he's braking while you're carrying so much speed and there is literally nowhere to go. But again, I mean, it's Nordschleife. A lot of people can make mistakes, and a lot of people do make mistakes, but I go from the outside as he goes kind of slow through this corner, and eventually I make this move stick. So it was a very, very nice move that I made here. I was kind of proud of this one because we both gave each other space and we both kind of handled this one pretty nicely. I mean, he didn't really try to back me off. I mean, I kind of made a mistake in this one. So this was honestly my bad. So I was up to P9 and I thought it was going to be a good race, but eventually, no. I screwed it up in this one. So race number 2, I really screwed it up. I mean, I just thought, okay, I had a little bit more time to recover and all of this, but again, look at this situation. I think this guy, or Jay, whatever you want to call him, I think he got a little bit mad, but because there was no way he could have made this possible without pushing me off the track. I mean, eventually he almost got off the track himself, and again he did. I followed, I have to say, but revenge is a very, very sweet thing. Oh yeah, I was dirty guy here. Yeah, I admit it, I was dirty guy here, and it kind of, you know, it kind of felt good. But okay. So this race ended up in P6, so I was quite happy with the result in the end. I mean, almost, I mean, this is over 30 seconds from the guy in the lead, and I was just, you know, trying to recover every single situation that I got myself into. But yeah, we are on Monza, the Temple of Speed, but the Temple of Speed this time without the chicane. So the chicane is probably one of the most interesting parts of the circuit because it's usually carnage. Yeah, it's usually carnage. That's all I have to say. That most of the time, like 90% of the time, you will see someone taking some other driver out in very, very interesting way. Sometimes it's almost like writing a book. You really never know what can come out of it. But I try to go for a kind of a late lunch, but I decided to kind of give this guy space, and he also gave me space. So it was all fair at this point. I mean, I was driving the Super, he was driving the McLaren, which clearly had no straight line speed. He had, but Super in this game, it's just OP. It's just so much better in the slipstream, and the acceleration of this car is incredible. I have to say, though, it's just incredible. But I was up in P13, so Bubbles in front of me, and I think Bubbles was just trying to kind of back me off, but I decided to go for it. I mean, really nothing to lose at this point. I had the inside, broke very, very late, down to second, avoiding this guy in front of me, and I just had to look what happened there. Just look at this. I mean, you can just imagine what happened here. Going wide. This guy in front of him loses him, and then he completely wipes out the whole field from literally from P5 to P9. Everyone was out, and I think he was playing a very, very good thing for me. Even this guy getting a 2-second penalty, and I'm up into P6 after lap 1, literally starting from the last guy on the grid. I was last, or close to last, and then into P6. Only 8 seconds behind the lead, and this race was going incredibly well for me. I didn't really know what to say. Honestly, at that point I thought, okay, this is a perfect race where I can actually win. I can actually win starting from the back. I know it's US servers. The pack was, I think it was around 12 o'clock in here, so not a lot of good players online. Mostly casual guys that usually race, you know, casually without even that much competitive spirit. But okay, I think I said it wrong. These guys can have competitive spirit, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they spend too much time in this game. They just want to have some fun, and I just saw these guys as some kind of casual players. But guy from the back, Bubbles, yeah, just he decides to kind of make his, just make his own room. If there is no space to go for a move, like, I'm gonna make myself a little bit of room. And eventually he got a penalty, which, okay, I think he deserved. He really deserved the penalty. I mean, it's 2-second penalty, and I have to say it was well deserved one. I decided to back out of this because it wasn't really safe. I didn't really know what he was supposed to do. So, I mean, at this point I was 10 seconds behind the lead and just decided to take my time and wait until he serves his penalty, which was in the end a very, very good strategic idea and strategic plan, which paid me dividends in the future. So I'm just riding from the outside of P5 and manage on the outside of the corner go into P5, which I was really, really happy about. I mean, it was just incredible that I can eventually go into P5 and work like this. And I think Ruben made a little mistake because he was very, very slow on the straight, and I think it was just about the last corner where he made it, and I just decided to give it a little bit of a sneak peek into the inside of this one, and so I think he just went a little bit wide, didn't lift, and eventually he ended up in the gravel. And I have to say there was no contact in between us, no contact whatsoever. I checked out the replay, and yeah, he just had to lift at that one point. And eventually I was running in P2, so sometimes it's better to wait and see what can happen in front of you. But I was running relatively good lap times. 37.687 was my best one. And I just knew that if I can keep up with the space like this, I got a very, very serious advantage over the guys in front of me, and I can possibly go for P1. I can see him in the distance. I mean, sorry, the footage is not really good, but yeah, I'm battling now for P1. So I just waited a lap and a half, 2 laps, and eventually I made it up into P1, stayed there, made a gap of around 3 seconds, and eventually this was a win. So just, yeah, it was really, really good feeling until this one. And this is the race that it just honestly blew my mind. Starting from P12, and almost immediately I knew this race was kind of lost. But yeah, just have a look at this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to say, so I watched the replay and I just wanted to have a look at his inputs, and he just decided to wipe me out completely. This Brazilian, which had really no name. But me being me, I decided to carry on with this one, because why not? I mean, you're almost 23 seconds behind the lead, but eventually someone is gonna make a mistake like this, another Brazilian. So Carujo just went a little bit wide. His lap times weren't really the best, but yeah, we were side by side, and this was a very, very smart move from him. He decided to back out a little bit, stay in the slipstream, and eventually go for a move on the inside. And there is just no way you can cover this one off, because he's got the inside, and you will just have to lift, or you just won't have the top end to kind of fight with this guy. I mean, you can see it. I just got so close to him. I didn't really want to risk it and go for it, but I decided, okay, maybe I can just show him that I'm there. But eventually he goes a little bit wide. I got the inside, but yeah, there's me. 1 second penalty. I ran over the curb. What can I say? I deserved it. But this gave Carujo one more chance to get very, very close to me. And yeah, boy, he did. He just decided, no waiting, no nothing, just I'm going for it. But this time I tried to play it a little bit easier than in the previous lap, and I think this was the right choice that I made in this one. So just decided to give him a little bit of that slipstream bump, or whatever you want to call it, bump drafting, or I think there is a couple of other words for it, but okay. I just decided to give him a little bit of a bump draft and going down to the inside, and there was really no time to cover this one off because it was on the inside. He had to lift a little bit, and I had, honestly, I think I had a better stopping power than him. We were both running the same cars, but in general, I think I had the line. I mean, it was all good at this point, but I saw some yellow flags, and all of a sudden from P12, I'm into P11. I mean, it's not really that much of an improvement, but I think even running from literally the last guy on the grid to P11 was kind of okay. Now Leah in front of me, and I just saw the guy who previously took me out, the Brazilian. He made a mistake, just going for a move, just trying to make the ground up. I mean, 27 seconds from the lead, not everything is lost. Going to the inside, maybe a little bit of that opportunistic move, and now, once again, this guy, he had literally pushed me off like crazy. And I watched the replay. I don't know how he lost it there. I think it was some kind of delay in the replay, but I'm just gonna watch as he rejoins the track. He rejoins, I mean, P9. I mean, there is nothing wrong about making a mistake and rejoining it. I mean, yeah, you can always do it. But again, just have a look at his inputs. Have a look at what he did at this point. I diving down the inside, and all of a sudden, bam, twice, almost 3 times. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm pretty much done. And just in the end, I made a couple of places and ended up the race in P9, which was kind of frustrating, just to see that you're so much quicker than the other guys and you're like into P9. But again, guys, it was kind of, I think it was a kind of a good review. So please let me know what do you think about the moves that you just saw, and you know, eventually make your comment, and please let me know what do you think, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.